Hi there, my name's Emma. I'm the campaign worker at Scottish CND, and I'm so pleased to be speaking with Daniel Högsta this afternoon. Daniel is the campaign coordinator of the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, or ICAN. He is originally from Sweden via Scotland and now living in Geneva, working on bringing about a total ban on nuclear weapons. Daniel, it's so great to have you with us today. We're going to cover a range of topics from the Non-Proliferation Treaty, the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, or TPNW, and we're going to be looking ahead at how we can commemorate the 75th anniversary of the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There are hundreds of partner organisations around the world working to support the TPNW, and you're helping to coordinate it all. I believe you studied at the University of Edinburgh, and then you took on an internship with ICAN. So what was it that you studied? Why was it that you chose Scotland?
Yeah, so I studied. That's right. I studied at the University of Edinburgh. I studied law, so I was doing the accelerated LLB for graduates, as it was called, because I already had an undergraduate degree before. So I was at the University of Edinburgh for 2 years. So I think the reason that I had kind of coming back to Scotland on my radar was because during my undergraduate I had done what's called in the United States a junior year abroad. So my third year I spent in Scotland at the University of St Andrews studying international relations, and had an absolute blast there. So I kind of knew that when I was going to study law, and knowing that I didn't necessarily want to stay in the United States to do that, that going to Scotland would be a great option, and the University of Edinburgh kind of was very attractive to me because the courses you could take in public international law as well, which turned out to be useful. So yeah, that's how I ended up in Scotland. Had a lovely time in Edinburgh. Lived in Bruntsfield. Shout out Bruntsfield for anyone watching.
Okay, fab. So you started with an internship at ICAN. So what was your role then, and what does the role of campaign coordinator entail now?
So yeah, I started as an intern in 2012, and I kind of had I think as a lot of interns do, I kind of covered a variety of different things, from like doing administrative work to communication, social media, writing articles, and advocacy as well. And I mean, I had to learn a lot as well. I didn't really have a background or kind of a grounding in nuclear weapons. I hadn't done any activism on nuclear weapons specifically before, so I had to really get up to speed then. But yeah, so I was kind of really drawn to the advocacy side of it. And as I got lucky enough to stick around at ICAN, and when I got my first full-time temporary contract, and then when I got my full-time permanent contract, I kind of moved really focusing into the advocacy side of things. So so over the course of the last few years, I think most of the time what I've been doing is lobbying governments directly, so focusing on that kind of diplomatic community at the United Nations, whether it be at the preparatory committee meetings of the NPT, or the UN General Assembly First Committee meetings in New York. Very much the kind of direct one-to-one or roundtable meeting formats with diplomats, convincing them about why a treaty banning nuclear weapons would be useful. So now in my current role, since the treaty was negotiated, now what I focus mostly on is the work. It tends to be the work that we do in nuclear weapon states and nuclear umbrella states as well. So coordinating the campaigns on the city's appeal, the parliamentary pledge, divestment, and also anything else that has to do with kind of stigmatizing nuclear weapons in whatever form that takes, and it's often quite diverse from context to context. But yeah, so right now I do less of the kind of lobbying of diplomats, and more kind of working with parliamentarians in the cities, and obviously campaigners who are doing that work as well.